Last week, we took a look at all of the new super rares that are going to be joining us in PRB02 for the One Piece card game. Well, this week, we're going to look at the rares that are going to be joining us. Each car is getting 2 brand new cards in the rare slots each. So let's go through and see exactly what they do and if they're going to make any kind of impact in the PRB02 format. My name's Ben Fitzpatrick, I'm a TCG caster, and that means I just love talking about them. So let's do that right now. But before we go ahead and jump into today's video, if you do enjoy it, please feel free to drop a like rating on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like I know over 80% of the people that watch my videos have not done. If you're coming back on the regular and you're enjoying the content, you might as well subscribe. It's completely free to do so, and it helps me out a ton with the support. We're getting so close to that 200 subscriber mark now. We are 8 away at the time of recording this. There's only today left in September, so might be a big ask if we can get to that 200 mark before the day is out, but if we can, it will be absolutely incredible. While you're down there as well, be sure to drop a comment down below with the decks that you're looking forward to trying out in PRB02, and then also feel free to check out my link tree in the video description where you can find me on other social platforms. So PRB02, it's coming out this Friday, which is really, really exciting. PRB sets have now got a history and a precedent for being one of the best sets to be released in the One Piece card game. And PRB02 has a little bit more excitement to it as well, because for the first time ever, there is new cards, mechanically new cards, that are being released in this volume of the premium booster. They didn't do that in PRB01 last year, so this time they're trying something new. The super rares, which we went over in the last video, link in the iCard in the corner for you to check that one out if you haven't already, were pretty decent for the most part. There might have been a couple that were a little bit of a miss here and there, but for the most part, these new super rares look very, very nice indeed. So let's see how the rares stack up. We're going to kick things off in red with Kobe, another Kobe and sword card being added to the pool. This is 4 cost 5k power, 1000 power counter. On your opponent's turn, if your leader has the Navy type, this character gets plus 1000 power, already pretty decent. And then when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3000 power base or less. Then, if you have 6 or less in hand, draw 1. So this card isn't too bad. I think I first and foremost really love the opponent's turn effect, making this a lot harder to try and get rid of by attacking into. You're asking your opponent to either cost-related KO this, bottom deck, or put an extra piece of power reduction into this Kobe to either pop it or KO via the battle step. So that opponent's turn effect is really, really nice. It's Navy type as well, so if you combine this with Red-Green Smoker, the leader from OP10, this all of a sudden becomes a 7k character on your opponent's turn, because Kobe itself is going to get the plus 1k from the Navy type, and then the Smoker leader grants all Navy and Punk Hazard characters plus 1000 power during your opponent's turn. So all of a sudden in Smoker, this becomes a 4 cost 7k on your opponent's turn, which does have some card draw capabilities as well. The KOing is going to be a little harder to achieve, purely because of that 3000 base power or less. Definitely going to be very, very useful in a card or in a deck like Rayleigh. Against Rayleigh, you'll be able to pop things like the 3 cost Punk Hazard Sanji without having to waste an attack into it. Get rid of the Boa Hancock and some of the searchers as well. Shakuyaku, Nami, those kinds of things. You'll be able to pop those quite handily. But anything else is going to be a little bit more difficult because it's base power. If it wasn't base power, this card would be so much better. But that base power limitation just draws it back a little bit. The fact that it is up to 1, though, is nice, and is, again, that better balance back of, you know, if you can't KO the 3000 base power character, okay, you don't necessarily have to. You can still get the draw effect if you've got 6 or less in hand. So I think this card is going to see a little bit of play. Whether it's going to see play in Kobe itself, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe as a 1 or 2 of. In Smoker, however, I can definitely see this card causing some problems in Smoker for sure. So this, along with the Trafalgar Law Super Rare that we talked about in the last One Piece video, definitely cards to watch out for in a leader that I think is going to be one of the most represented, or one of the most in return in representation during the small PRB02 window that we are going to have. Next up is Lucky Roo, 4-cost 2k character, 1000 powers counter. It is a blocker which on play allows you to trash a character with 6000 power or more from your hand and then draw 2. This one I'm a little bit uncertain on, primarily because the Shanks list in and of itself has already become quite compact from what I'm seeing in OP12 at the very least. And this filtration effect just seems a little bit awkward when you've got a card like the 5-cost Silver's Rayleigh, which allowed you to draw 1, trash 1, draw 2, and I think was a 5-cost 6k blocker from memory, if I'm correct. So in that instance, you're able to trash whatever you want away, as opposed to having to trash here a character with 6000 power or more. And as we've already established as well, if we think that this 4-cost Kobe is going to start to see a lot of play, this Lucky Roo is a 2k character at base level. So Kobe can just swing in, pop this, without you having any chance to use it as a blocker. Yes, you've gotten the draw filter here, but then you've lost one of your top-end pieces early on for it. You've lost a Ben Beckman, you've lost a Rayleigh, you've lost a 10-cost Shanks, you've lost a 9-cost Shanks. You know, there's so many different cards that this trashes away that you want to have a hold of when you get to that late game stages and just chaining big body after big body, turn after turn after turn. Plus, at the 4-cost blocker slot right now in Shanks, you've got the OP12 blocker Shanks, which is just an absolute menace in the Shanks deck. So this one I'm not convinced on really whatsoever. I don't think that this card's going to see much play, because if you want a draw filter blocker, you play 5-cost Rayleigh, and you've got a 4-cost blocker that's way better anyway, and way more versatile after the on-play effect, and is going to survive a 4-cost Kobe when attacking ability as well. So I think Lucky Roo is the weaker of the two for the red rares, but that's from what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm not someone who's played Shanks a ton, so let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong on Lucky Roo for whatever reason. Next, we're going to go over to Green, and Green is getting a new Bonnie card. It's a 3-cost 3k character, 1000 powers worth of counter. It's also a blocker that on your opponent's attack once per turn, you can set up to one of your Don cards as active. Bonnie is a bit of a weird one, in my opinion. I love the Don restanding ability, and it's a blocker that we can play if we're forced onto the odd Don curve, as well as Jewelry Bonnie. But again, it's that 3000 power that's making me feel a little awkward when it comes to this 4-cost Kobe. It's also a special attribute character. It's not Slash. So Koshiro, for example, wouldn't be able to protect it, which is a little bit of a shame. I think it will be experimented with. I think there are going to be some people that are going to try running this Jewelry Bonnie because of that on-attack versatility. Again, it's something that if you, say, in the later game, if you have, like, Cavendish on board, or let's say, okay, so let's say a situation where you are on 6 Don, you pay 5 for Cavendish, restanding 2, you swing 5k with Leader, and then for 3, you can play this down. And you're still going to have that opportunity to have a Don being restood during your opponent's turn, ready for Bonnie Leader effect. So there are certainly ways around and ways to work this card, but I think as time goes on, this might start getting peeled away from Jewelry Bonnie, at least in my mindset. This card, I mean, looks fantastic. The artwork on it is absolutely incredible. But from a full playability, from a longevity point of view, I'm not 100% sure on it. It could be really, really good. Could end up being really, really good. I was wrong about a lot of cards previously. I was wrong about the 4-cost buggy super rare. I thought that was a bit underwhelming. But I was wrong about that. So I could very well be wrong about that as well. This is a card that I don't think I'm wrong about, though. 4-cost 4K Zorro. It's a 2K counter, which opponent's turn, if this character would be rested by your opponent character's effect, you may rest one of your other characters instead. And it's a blocker. This card is gas. This card is absolute gas for 2 different decks. It's gas for Mono Green Zorro, because it's Straw Hat Crew, and if you're playing against the mirror match, particularly, this can't be rested by a Tashigi or anything like that, so you're going to be able to rest something else that's a little bit bigger for your opponent to try and attack into, and at that point, you've still got the blocker around. Yes, it's still going to trigger the Zorro leader ability if you block, but, you know, it gives you a little bit more versatility. It's also going to be very good in Bonnie, I think. Again, specifically in the mirror, or to target against Bonnie as a tech card. Because if they want to try and rest this blocker, you can just rest one of your big boys, or something like that. And this is a 2K counter as well, that has the slash attribute, so it's protectable by Koshiro as well. I think this card's really, really good, and I think it's going to see quite a bit of play. I think it could be played as well in Green-Purple Luffy. Green-Purple Luffy could see this as a little bit more choice as well. It's a Straw Hat Crew type character, so maybe replacing like something like the Nico Robin that some players are still using at the moment. The 3-cost purple one that Don -1s on KO to search. I think this could potentially replace it. But yeah, it's a card I'm certainly excited for, and again, the art style, as you'd expect for a PRB set, just looks absolutely amazing. Now we're going to pivot on into blue, and we're going to go to Jinbei here. 4-cost 5k, 1000 powers counter. On play, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, reveal up to 1 7 Warlords of the Sea card other than Jinbei, and add it to your hand. Then the rest go to the bottom of the deck in any order. And then when attacking, you place a character with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. This card is cool. This card is really, really cool. Especially considering that Don Quixote do Flamingo, the mono blue Dofi, seems to have been getting a little bit of an uptick in representation again. Primarily in North America, at the least. So now, having a searcher, a valuable searcher, that we could play off of the leader effect here, doesn't seem too bad. And of course, we could potentially bounce it back with the 4-cost law as well. So, certainly not too bad at all. The when attacking effects to bottom deck a 1-cost is limiting. You're really mainly only going after searches there, but if they're repeatable searches, for example, things like 1-cost Bonnie, 1-cost Lafitte, Momonosuke, Hiyori, you know, those kinds of activate main searches, again, similar to the Kobe from earlier, you're not having to waste an attack to deal with that character. You're not having to put 5 into 0, for example, with your leader, to get rid of that 1-cost searcher. You can just bottom deck it away with the Jinbei while still putting pressure onto life. Another deck that I think this will go into as well, and that I think this will see play with, is Blue-Yellow Nami. Quite a lot of the Blue-Yellow Nami decks are still believing that the 7 Warlords package is the best way to build around it, and then sort of supplement that with sort of the good yellow stuff and red rocks and grav blades and stuff like that. You're going to be able to fetch out here with this card things like your 2-cost teachers, things like your blocker laws, your 1-costs, So I like this card. It's quite well rounded. Obviously 4 cost 5k, so it is hitting in for potential damage against an opponent's leader with a 1k counter. I like the look of Jinbei. I think that this will be a really, really nice one to include into those decks in particular. I'm very interested to see how it works with mono blue Dofi, especially. Obviously, the 4 cost super rare Jinbei that we used to have in OPO7 was one of the biggest reasons that deck really worked. Will this be a similar level of impact in Dofi as the old Jinbei was? We'll have to wait and see. Next is going to be Mr. 3. It's a 2 cost 1k character with 1000 power counter. Has an effect whereby it can be activated when this is rested by your opponent's effect. You can trash it and draw 2. And it's a blocker as well. This is really interesting. And the biggest reason why this card is interesting isn't actually because of PRB02. It's because of OP13. There was a deck list that I saw floating around that was a mono blue Kuzan deck that ran, I think, 2 or 3 copies of this card, which was really, really interesting. The effect is really, really cool. It's definitely targeting a very narrow range of decks. Again, only really things like Bonnie and Mono Green Zorro. But if those decks are still very popular, and your opponent is trying to get rid of this character by resting it, say on like a Hody Jones turn as well even, to get 2 cards drawn off of it, that's pretty good. You can get yourself, you know, some 2k counters. You can get yourself some counter events as well. If this gets seen playing blue-purple Luffy, for example, God help us all, because we've got another way for blue-purple to draw cards and get themselves to Gum Gum Giant. Mr. 3, I think is really, really cool. I think from the colors that we've seen so far, I think the 2 rares from blue are really, really exciting me early on. But we've still got 3 more colors to work with so far. So we're going to jump ahead into purple and go to Doflamingo. 5 cost 6k, blocker, on play. If your leader is multicolored, add up to 1 card from the Don deck and rest it. Really, really nice. This is a really nice card. More ramp as well. I wonder if this card is going to be included into blue-purple Luffy, because the on-play isn't type-locked. It's just your leader has to be multicolored. So if we include this in blue-purple Luffy, now at the 5 Don slot, not only have we got God Thread to try and ramp, we've got Blocker Nami to filter the deck a little bit and lead ourselves into leader ability. We've now also got a 5 cost 6k blocker that's going to ramp as well and get us to that blue-purple leader effect even closer. I mean, I said it from the start, and I said it in my ban reaction video, and we're seeing the fruits of it now as well, and proving that I was right, that the forbidden pairing thing just didn't do enough for blue-purple Luffy. If you look at the top cut, I know there's a post on Twitter that's been going around. I'll post a screenshot of it if I can find it. Of one side of the bracket for the Seville regionals that took place last weekend at the time of recording this video. Half of the side of the bracket was basically entirely blue-purple Luffy. It's insane. That leader is still just way too good. And the forbidden pairing thing, like, nerfs it slightly, because you can't just Katakuri and Lin and, you know, all that shenanigans anymore. But there's still so many good cards. And the Don Quixote Pirates package that some of the decks are running, with the 8 cost super rare Dofi and the 5 cost super rare Rosinante, this is now just another target for the 8 cost. Because you can play this out and either ramp a Don or return any Don that you have used in that turn to Don minus at all. So this card I could see potentially being a little bit of a problem in blue-purple Luffy. Anywhere else, it could be okay. Maybe I'd love to see this work in like green-purple Doflamingo. I've seen that red-purple Sugar has been getting a little bit of attention brought to it recently, because there is a new card in the EBO3 set, 3-cost Sugar, that looks very, very interesting and very, very good for that deck. But I think a lot of people are going to see this card and go, yep, more ramp for blue-purple. Let's just chuck it in there. Next, we've got Nami. 2-cost 2k. Simple enough. It's a searcher. On play, check top 5 of the deck, grab a Straw Hat Crew type card other than Nami, and add it to your hand. Also has a trigger to play itself as well. The deck that I've been seeing this card included in most, in early testing and speculation, is actually Purple-Black Luffy, which I'm a huge, huge fan of. If that deck's coming back, then, oh boy, are we so back. For those that are long-time viewers of the channel will know that our One Piece card game Voyage Diaries series, which hopefully, fingers crossed, should be back this week. I've just had to, unfortunately, due to reasons out of my control, take a little bit of time away from both Voyage Diaries and from Mission Log as well for the Gundam card game. But hopefully we'll be back into those series very, very soon. For those that have been watching that series from the start, you'll know that I've been trying to make Purple-Black work. But maybe not quite gone the right way about it with the heavy top end that I was using. So another searcher here as Nami, and something that's going to be able to be played on the even curve as well, if we're forced onto that to go second. Very, very nice indeed. And a trigger as well, which is something that Purple-Black never really necessarily had access to. So this card, definitely very, very good. Always happy for another searcher as well. Next up is Gecko Moria as we head into black. 6-cost 7k, no counter on it. But, on play, if your leader has the Thriller Bark Pirates type, play up to 1 character card with a cost of 4 or less from your trash rested, then give up to 1 rested Don to your leader or one of your characters. This card, I'm so glad it's being printed. It's 8-cost Moria light, 8-cost Moria kinda back, Gecko Moria kinda back though, as a leader with this as well, because it's recursion that isn't type locked, so the leader is type locked to activate the on play, but the recursion itself isn't type locked. So you can grab things like 4-cost Rebecca blocker, you can grab things like 3-cost Brook from this. Really, really nice versatility. It's a 7k body as well, so it's naturally attacking in for magic numbers. And then it grants Arrested Don to your leader or one of your characters. And importantly, for Moria, the OPO6 leader, the leader effect needs a Don underneath it to be able to activate the effect. You then, of course, do have to pay more Don and do the trashing at the top of the deck and whatever, but it facilitates and feeds in to the leader effect being turned online. I know when a lot of people saw this card getting revealed, they were very, very excited for it. Some were a little bit scared. I'm in the excited camp. I love this card, and God, this alt artwork looks absolutely amazing. Moria residing over all of the zombies that he's created in Thriller Bark. I love this character. I love this card. I love the arc as well. Thriller Bark is a peak arc in One Piece. I will not have anybody tell me otherwise. Moria is well and truly back. Finally in black, we've got some more Blackbeard Pirates support. Yes, Teach is getting another new card in the form of Shiryu. It's a 4-cost 5k character that says if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, this character becomes a blocker and doubles its cost on board as well, so it becomes an 8-cost blocker. And then on KO, if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with base cost of 4 or less. Not bad at all. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination. That +4 cost makes it nice and sticky and makes it nice and difficult to try and get off of the board. And then the on KO, you're realistically always going to be playing this in Teach to pop something of base cost 4 or less, Base cost 4 is quite nice. There's some really good cards that we can target with that. Things like Kuina, things like Rouge, Rosinante Blocker, Koshiro, Kikunojo as well in yellow. Be a little bit more selective with your KOs of that, however, because you don't want to give your opponent a life. Really, really nice cards that we can remove with Shiryu. So I think this is a decent card. Is it going to replace the other Shiryu that's being played in the deck at the moment? I think maybe. I think that it'll be a split. I think it'll be maybe like a... If people are playing like the Doc Hulis list and playing like 4 of the old Shiryu from OP10, I think they might go to maybe a 2-2 split, because I think this card is versatile. If they're just running it as like a 1 or 2 of, then again, maybe you go just the 1-1 split, or you drop something else, say like the 6-cost blocker Kuzan, maybe. That could make way for this 4-cost Shiryu here. I've not seen too many early teach lists in PRB2, but it's a very, very fun deck to play. A very challenging deck to play, but very, very fun nonetheless. So I'd be very interested to see the source that the teach players are cooking up ahead of PRB02. Finally, we're going to head over to yellow. Next with Otama. 2 cost, 0 power. It's a 2k counter, primarily. But the effect is really interesting. And it's for one deck in particular, I think. Activate main, rest this character, and add up to 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to hand. One of your leader or character cards is going to get a plus 3,000 boost during this turn. Also has a resting trigger to rest a 4-cost or less on your opponent's side of the board. So the one deck in particular that I'm really looking forward to seeing this deck in is going to be Yamato. I think that this card in Yamato is very, very scary, because all of a sudden, you've now got 2 different ways to boost up your leader. You've got this, and you've got Toniyasu as well, which has been the main way that players for Yamato have been looking to close out games. Is they'll play Toniyasu, activate the effect to trash, pop it the power on leader, swing that first, try and push the double attack through, and then maybe like swing a Hody Jones or something like that. Here, you can now either use Toniyasu still and use Otama to just double boost your leader, or in that sort of play line that I was talking about there with leader and Hody Jones, you can split the boosts. And because the Otama is Land of Wano, this is going to be searchable by the 1-cost Yamato as well. And it's a 2k counter as well in a pinch. So I think this card is going to be an auto-include. I think it's going to be a must-play in Yamato and PRB02. Maybe at a 4 of. I wouldn't be surprised purely just a 4 of for the 2k consistency. But to get this effect going on as well, and the potential of the Beige-like trigger, very, very good. Very excited for this card. But for me, though, we've saved the best till last. Because one of the biggest things, and one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are excited for PRB02 to be released, is because of this card right here. 5 cost, 7k, Portgasti Ace. On play, if you have a face-up life card, play up to 1 Sabo, Ace, or Luffy with a cost of 2 from your hand or trash. Ladies and gentlemen, BY Luffy is back. BY Luffy has got a Moria-like character again that is going to be able to recur our 2-cost babies from the trash. This card is absolutely insane. And the fact that it's 7k as well, it's attacking in for magic numbers against regular leaders. I am going to be wanting 4 of this card as one of my main cards that I get for PRB02. This and a couple of the super rares as well, maybe. But this ace is just absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad that Black Yellow Luffy is having a little bit of a potential resurgence with this card. I know a lot of people have been in the waiting room for Ace to drop. Ace is now finally going to be here, and hopefully BY is going to be back on the menu. For how long BY is going to be back on the menu for, with OP13 coming around the corner as well, that's going to be just over a month away now, with the official release date of November the 7th being revealed for that a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure, but at the very least, we are going to have a solid month of BY Luffy being nice and strong again, and hopefully, maybe, being a big meta contender and player for people to have to worry about again. We'll have to see just how things pan out, however, throughout the small PRB02 meta window that we are going to have. It's only going to be about a month or so, even with the week's delay that is implemented to any set when it gets released into competitive play. But it's going to be exciting for sure. So that is all of the rares from PRB02. So now it's over to you. Let me know down in the comments below what cards that you are excited to see come from this set. Are there any that I've maybe overhyped? Are there any that I've underhyped? Let me know down below. And while you're there as well, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to go ahead and drop a like rating on it. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already for more One Piece card game and other TCG related content. But until then, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, we'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.